Hello my friends and welcome to PhilosAnimation. Garnet is the embodiment of love in Steven Universe, but also the embodiment of the origin of love according to Aristophanes. Chances are you don't know who Aristophanes is. Up until recent history, Aristophanes was a famous Greek playwright, known particularly for writing both tragedies and comedies. He makes an appearance in Plato's Symposium, giving a treatise on the nature of love and friendship. Aristophanes and Plato were at a party where everyone was discussing the nature of love and why humans do this irrational and often destructive love thing. And, like any proud ancient Greek person, Aristophanes was getting remarkably drunk off his rocker. He yelled at the party to pay attention to him, because he had a story that would explain everything about love, what it is, and where it comes from. The story of the Circle People. Garnet's story, and particularly the story of Ruby and Sapphire, is essentially the same as Aristophanes' drunken rant. Aristophanes explained that humans used to be very different beings. We used to be circle people, made up of a fusion between men and women. Everyone had 2 pairs of legs, 2 pairs of arms, 2 heads. We were fused at the back, and our genitals were interlocked behind us. There were 3 kinds of circle people. From the moon came fusions of 2 men. See Dragon Ball Z for a reference. From Earth came fusions of men and women, and from the sun came fusions of women and women. This is where we get that old children's playground rhyme. Men are from Mars, women are from Venus, and women are better because they don't have a penis. These fusions with their extra limbs, perfectly circular bodies that roll instead of run, were extremely powerful, and so they began to challenge the authority of the gods. And because of their blasphemy, the gods ripped them apart and moved their genitals to the front so that they would never again be able to fuse. And finally, they banished them all to the earth. So love and sex is just a pursuit to find a compatible person and fuse back into circle people. At least if a drunken Aristophanes is to be believed. We are drawn to be made as one body with the person and people we care about, to once again make ourselves whole. Ruby and Sapphire's story runs along these same themes. Gems are generally expressed as female, even though they technically don't have genders, and don't have definitive masculine or feminine features either. Ruby and Sapphire are different because they fall very strictly along stereotypical masculine and feminine personalities. Ruby is violent, angry, and dominant in the romantic relationship. Sapphire is patient, intelligent, nurturing, and receptive. Even their design shows a more muscular upper body for Ruby, and a slim figure with wide hips in Sapphire's dress. When Ruby and Sapphire fused, they blasphemed the gem hierarchy, and incurred the wrath of Blue Diamond. The diamonds are essentially gods in terms of their power and control, and the punishment Ruby and Sapphire incurred for breaking the social order was to be torn apart and thrown down to earth. And in general, the overall themes of love, form, and beauty in Plato's Symposium are each explored individually in Steven Universe. Just as Aristophanes' story was meant to help guide the partygoers in discussing the different forms of love and gender, the story helps Steven in his own growth into adulthood. Garnet occupies the same unique role as Aristophanes, originally a wise and distant figure, later revealed to have both the seriousness of a Greek tragedy and the goofy humor of a Greek comedy. Thank you for watching, everyone. If you're interested in diving deeper into the themes of Steven Universe, I suggest grabbing a copy of Plato's Symposium. It's available literally everywhere you can find books, and it's way more interesting if you're not required to read it for school. And if you liked this video, hit the subscribe button too. There's much more philosophy and games and shows to explore, and I'd love your help finding it. You might also like this video I did where I explored Plato's philosophy behind Amethyst. And if you like what I do on this channel, consider supporting me on Patreon, link in the doobly-doo. And finally, in the comments, let's discuss any of the philosophically interesting themes you've found in Steven Universe. Who knows, it may end up in a video in the future. And as always, stay true.